Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining the FeeLgr8r Friday photo scavenger hunt call. It is around 7 o'clock. We're just getting started. I just want to say a few things about FeeLgr8r before my guest calls in, my co-host to the show, my younger sister, Nura. She's going to call in shortly. But right now, I'm just going to spend a little bit of time just sort of covering a few basic fundamentals. The first thing I want to say is that I got on the FeeLgr8r shirt. This is one of the first releases of the FeeLgr8r designs. It's that moment when a boxer's like, ah! So I'm excited about that. Another thing I want to also talk about briefly is just my appearance, because going forward, I want everyone to understand one particular thing, and that is I am intentionally growing my hair out like this. Now, weren't expecting me to say that, were you? Now, the reason is I'm super crazy paranoid about the deep fake. So I've just been really wrecking my mind recently, like, how can I, in my own content, be as authentic as possible? And I realized that the solution is already here. Just think about the things that AI cannot successfully replicate. It can watch me and try to replicate my charming personality, but as far as how I think, as far as how I interact with the world, that's my unique personality. And along with that goes my appearance. So I realized by growing my hair out, there is an imperfection that's very important at this time. And we like to call those the curls. Now, what's important to note here is when I'm combing my curly hair, the texture, you can't feel it, of course, because you're just looking through the screen. But the texture is almost like, how can I describe? I just love the texture. It's like it's like a soft, it's like how I would imagine a cloud would feel before you realize they had no feeling. But the first time you looked in the sky, you wanted to touch a cloud, you probably said it feels like cotton, right? It has to feel like a soft pillow. Well, my hair feels like how I would imagine a cloud to feel when it's nice and oiled and I comb it through. It just like I love to touch it. It just feels so soft and beautiful. I really love my hair. And the other thing about it is when I was younger, the mindset was, oh, you can't have naps, right? We'll call it naps. His hair's nappy, right? That was unattractive. But that's completely turned because as far as I'm concerned, these naps are curls, baby. And I like the sensation of combing through them. I mean, you can hear it. Let me let you hear it. You heard that? Now that is black hair right there. And if you notice, every now and then when I'm combing it through, a piece of hair just flies out into the atmosphere. A small little, like even right in front of me. You can't see it, but I got like small little hairs that break off. But that's again part of the authentic moment. Okay. So my hair is gonna remain this way for now because of the deep fake. And this is one of the ways that I authenticate myself on camera. You're gonna constantly see me comb my hair. Now I got two combs. I have this comb and I have this black one. I usually use this like if my hair is a little bit lower. My hair is at the point now where I really only use it like for the front, like that, you know? And just because if I try to rake through this with this, come on now, it's not gonna look. Like it's just not gonna get through. So, this is for when it's a little bit lower, but once it gets to this height, I switch to this. All right, that's enough about my hair. Moving right along, the hat. Now, this is the Pat King, logo. I rock the Pat King hat because there's a close connection between the Pat King and FeeLgr8r. That's another story for another time. But the high level idea of it is very simple, okay? When I was starting the Pat King and looking for sponsors, I went to various smoothie spots because I like to drink and stay hydrated while I'm, drinking water or something healthy while I'm playing Miss Pac-Man. And I didn't get the positive like sponsorship opportunities. And so I decided to just come up with a concept, a brand that I wanted to use on my own while I'm playing Miss Pac-Man. And so it was really from this that it branched out into FeeLgr8r. FeeLgr8r's origin story owes its, what's the word I'm looking for? It owes credit to the Pat King, AKA, if you go to the Pat King's channel, you can see like there's a link between FeeLgr8r and the Pat King from the very beginning. So with that said, let me see if my sister is joining yet. All right, she's not here yet. Now, the final thing I do is this. Now, I've got this whiteboard behind me, and I'm gonna grab some markers. I'm gonna tilt this up a little bit. I want you to see that. All right. So right here is where you're gonna hear the sound. You're gonna hear the sound of this writing on that. And what am I gonna write? I'm gonna attempt to write FeeLgr8r in not really graffiti style, but whatever. When I was younger, I wanted to be a graffiti artist. Hold on. I'm gonna turn this way. This is a little bit better. All right, here we go. We're gonna do it right here. You ready? It's not gonna be like amazing artwork or nothing. It's gonna be like, okay, you'll see. You ready? Let's go. All right. Can you hear that? Did you hear that? Feel. All right, I'm gonna start here. There it is. There it is. I feel like I'm gonna run out of space if I'm not careful. So I'm gonna try to be a little bit. We got the feel part, feel, and then we're gonna do the G, and then the R, the 8. 8's are easy to do, right? And finally, the last character, the R. FeeLgr8r. And then I got this other one. Here we go. I used to always like this when I was younger. I like to like draw like an outline. Get up there. I always like drawing outlines when I was like doodling in class. I would write a word and then draw outline around it. There we go. FeeLgr8r. So now that that's done, I feel like I'm fully authenticated. You got all 3. So you can authenticate me by my hair. I'll be combing it all the time. And it's real because it be breaking and it makes that sound. Then of course I like to wear this hat, the Pat King, you know what I mean? And then I wrote FeeLgr8r on the whiteboard. Another aspect of me that may not be as noticeable is just the teeth. Like, it's gonna be hard to like deep fake me with teeth like this. My teeth are needing a lot of work. No, I'm just joking. I got the fangs. You see that? Got the fangs, and this tooth right here is like jumping out in front of this tooth right here. So it's like it's leaning out a little bit more, So that's just like one of those things, one of those amazing imperfections that will help you pinpoint if this is a deep fake or not. I'm just keeping it 100. So, and the voice, of course, AI can, copy your voice and make you say all kinds of things that you would never say. So that's why I always emphasize in the beginning of my recordings to authenticate me first. And if you don't see no video with all of these things in it, then don't consider it me. That's a deep fake. Just consider it a deep fake. And if I'm ever in the public and I'm saying something, then I'm gonna, before I even say, I'm gonna authenticate. I haven't quite figured out a way to authenticate on public radio that doesn't have any video, or haven't quite figured that part out yet, but I'm thinking it through. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know, because this is so important to the future of what we're doing. All right, back to the topic of FeeLgr8r. Let me check and see if my sister is joining. Let's see. It looks like she's not going to make it, because I might have to just record another recording just for her. Let me call her real quick. Hold on. Going straight to voicemail. All right, I hope she's okay. Doesn't sound like she's going to be calling in for this particular recording, but it is what it is. Authenticity. These are the types of things that happen in the real world. So let's keep that in mind, that my whole presentation is based on authenticity. Like, if I couldn't establish who I really was, I wouldn't even do this, you know? So I feel like I'm having a FeeLgr8r moment just being able to authenticate myself now, especially in this crazy deep fake environment. You feel me? You feel me? Now, FeeLgr8r, I know it's backwards from your perspective, but FeeLgr8r, I also refer to it as FG a lot of places. So if you see me write FG, then you know I'm referring to FeeLgr8r. So there's your F and there's your G. You feel me? So now the last topic I want to address is the topic of what is FeeLgr8r? What in the world is FeeLgr8r? So let's really get into it, because I say a lot of times I'm having a FeeLgr8r moment, but I can't assume that people know what I'm talking about. I slipped up and said it today to an individual I was having a conversation with, and he had no idea about FeeLgr8r. And I said, man, you know, not getting in that car accident was definitely a FeeLgr8r moment for me. And I was trying to explain to him that when it comes to like measuring success, the default oftentimes is to talk about what happened, the great things you did to get to that success. When you have a victory, people want to know, well, what did you do to accomplish that victory, Amari? But a lot of times what's not discussed is what didn't happen. You follow me? So the point that I was trying to make to the gentleman that I was talking to earlier when I mentioned the FeeLgr8r moment was that I'm aware of both what did happen, and I'm also aware of what didn't happen and could have easily happened to me, but did not happen in that particular point in time. So I acknowledge two blessings with every act, not just one. I hope that makes sense. So I was explaining that to him, and he got it. Like he really got it. Okay, my sister's here. We got a few minutes. Let's see what she's talking about. Nura. It's going to take a few seconds for her to join the call, because it's just, you know, that's what it is. So let's be patient. But before I even get to what didn't happen, let's just clarify what a FeeLgr8r moment is. That's what we first should clarify. Welcome, Nura. Can you hear me? Okay, waiting for your audio to kick in. And there you are.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. Peace and love. I'm recording.
Okay.
I talked a little bit, and I'm happy with what I covered so far. And I was saying to myself, well, when my little sister Nura calls in, she's going to be like at the perfect moment where I'm ready to explain what FeeLgr8r is. And it just worked out perfectly. I'm right at that moment. And it said, she's ready to get into the room. And I was like, yes.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, you like my shirt?
That's nice.
Yeah, this is the first official release of a FeeLgr8r t-shirt.
Okay.
This is the Boxer 1 shirt. So this is like a boxer. He's training on a punching bag.
Okay.
Got the FeeLgr8r logo right up in the corner, so you know it's authentic. You feel me?
Oh.
All right. So if if you can go ahead and mute, but before you mute, I just want to ask you, are you having a Feel Greater day?
Yes.
Beautiful. Your hair looks beautiful.
Think you actually can see me because I can't even see myself.
Yes, I can see you.
Okay.
I can see your beautiful face, little sis.
Okay. So you want me to do what?
Just put your phone on mute so I can explain. I mean, not your phone, but your device on mute so that I can explain what Feel Greater is.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
So let's just get into it real quick. What is Feel Greater? I can't hear you. Great. Perfect. So what is Feel Greater? As a matter of fact, let me see if I can make my screen the larger screen. No, it's not letting me. Oh, there it goes. Okay. All right. So what is Feel Greater? Feel Greater is that sensation that you feel when you accomplish something. It's a combination of accomplishment and the bliss of having that accomplishment, the joy of reaching that milestone, that goal. And so when you accomplish something, you're like, yes, right? Yes, I did it. I did it. Woo! All types of poses that you do when you accomplish something. Now, it could be something small, right? Or it could be something huge. The sensation is the same, right? So obviously, if it's something huge, it's more overwhelming. You're really in it for longer. Like if I would have hit that Powerball like 2 weeks ago for $1.3 billion, that would have been like a huge feel good. It's like a life-changing Feel Greater moment, right? Like, oh my God, like I'm running around the house for like 2 hours, right? Versus if I was to just like go to the casino and play, like, I don't even do casinos like that, but if I was to play the slot machine and win $20, right? That's still a Feel Greater moment, especially if I just put a quarter in, but then it's like, it's not as big as the $1 billion, right? So that's the difference between the grand and the granular. It's the same sensation, but the granular is more smaller things. Like I give you like an everyday example that I would experience personally, because I don't gamble, but if I did, the casino example would have been great because my goal would be to go there and gamble, right? But since I don't gamble, then let's give you a realistic example that I would experience. Like, for example, I didn't feel like going to the gym one night. It was late. I wanted to watch television, chill out, watch something on streaming. But I knew I had promised myself I was going to work out that night. So what did I do? I just was internally just battling myself for like a good 30 minutes. And then finally made it to the gym. I was like, you know what? I'm going to just go to the gym and just walk around and I'm going to come back and watch TV. Like that's how I made it to the gym. But then when I got to the gym, I'm like, I'm here. I might as well just do a little workout. Next thing you know, I start working out. And next thing you know, I'm like, you know what? Why do a little workout? Let me do my regular workout. And boom, I do my regular workout. And like an hour later, I'm just like, woo, I'm so proud of myself. I feel so great that I actually made it to the gym. I go home, I'm driving home, and I have like this overwhelming Feel Greater moment, like at every red light. Every time I stop, I'm just stopping and I'm just like, man, woo, I feel so great. So it's that small sense of accomplishment, but nevertheless, inside of me, it was a big accomplishment because I knew I almost didn't even go to the gym. It would have just been another day where I didn't even do anything. And I'm like, oh, I got to get there. So small things like going to the gym, or if I wanted to like make some guacamole, but didn't have any avocados. I didn't feel like going to the store, but I went anyway, got the avocados, got the other ingredients that I needed, sliced it up, diced it up, put it all together, got my guacamole. I'm enjoying it while I'm watching my favorite program, chilling, having a Feel Greater moment. That's a Feel Greater moment because it's like, whoa, I just made some guacamole, right? Especially if it's like organic avocados that don't have any, glyphosate chemicals in it. You're not killing yourself neither. Oh man, this is amazing. So anyway, I gotta comb my hair. Hold on. My hair needs to be combed. Hold on. So Nura, I'm glad you joined. I was explaining to the viewers that part of what I do while I'm presenting is I comb my hair. That's just part of my authentic representation of self. Like I'm not trying to modify myself for anybody. I enjoy my hair. I love it. I let it grow out. It serves me a great purpose, and I like the sensation of combing it. I like the sound it makes. You could almost kind of hear it.
That means you need to moisturize it if you can hear it.
Yes, exactly. But I want the people to hear it. You know why? Because
No,
they know that, listen, they know that it's really me. Like, so
no.
you didn't join earlier. I did a whole segment on the deep fake. You know what the deep fake is?
What?
That's like when AI can like copy you, your whole persona. AI can copy you. And then they can use AI to make videos with you talking in it that you ain't even in. It's a copy of you.
You talking about artificial intelligence?
Artificial intelligence, exactly.
Okay.
So I've been wrecking my mind ever since, AI became really popular with all of these tools that are coming out. I've been wrecking my mind. Like, well, how do I even, how do I authenticate myself to people in the future that's like watching my videos? How do they know that it's really me, right? And that's when I realized like authenticity is the key to the future. Like,
Yeah, but crunchy hair is not authenticity. That means you have
no, no,
bad.
no. What I'm saying is AI can't replicate nappy, curly, black hair. It can't do it.
Oh, okay.
So this said, like if I was to cut all my hair off, then AI could easily replicate me because I ain't got nothing that stands out as authentically me.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is like growing my fro out actually solves part of the problem. It doesn't solve the whole problem. But me using the comb, AI can't really mess with this. The little hair that's falling out when I comb, you know what I'm saying? Then it's the gray hairs in the beard, and I like to comb that. Then it's the imperfections of my teeth and how they don't line up. AI can't copy that. Then it's the whiteboard, you know what I'm saying? Like the sound of the actual whiteboard. Like AI has a difficult time copying certain things, you know what I mean? How it
Oh,
sounds when the ASMR, when I drink some water, it goes like this. See? AI can't copy that. That's authentically me. So when I combine all of those aspects together, including the hat, the worn down, see how
okay,
this
my
hat,
stop hurting my head with all this technology, sir.
look, see how it's worn down a little bit? Like AI, if AI was to do it, it would be like a perfectly clean logo because that's all AI knows how to do is clean stuff, perfect stuff.
Okay.
So all of a sudden, our imperfections become part of our way of authenticating. And so
Question: You just see me. You don't see what I'm doing, right?
I see you sitting there. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And you too, your authenticity comes in your actual self, like who you really are, not some filter overlaying you. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, now that I explained what Feel Greater is, I just want to talk about some of the Feel Greater, like the types of Feel Greater moments. Because this is where it becomes relatable to everybody around the world. Because I feel like everybody, regardless of your background, your demographics, like you, whatever religion you are, whatever political philosophy or side of the spectrum you're on, whatever your sexuality is, whatever your ethnicity is, part of the world, your culture, like it does not matter where you are on the planet in the Milky Way. You could be an astronaut at the center of the Milky Way. That would be your feel greater moment, making it to the center, right? The center of the Milky Way is so far away that if you were to make it there, that would be a huge feel greater moment. So
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter. And it's not even dependent on being human. Like non-human entities can also experience feel greater. And it doesn't matter what dimension you're in. You could be in heaven and have a feel greater moment. So my point is it's relatable. So let's talk about all of the different types of feel greater moments right here on planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorites, birthdays. Come on. I talked to somebody yesterday or the other day, and they were telling me that they don't celebrate their birthday, but they knew the day that they were born on, and they do like a small celebration or whatever. And I'm like, small, big, it don't matter the celebration. The fact that you're acknowledging that you made it around, or the sun, whether you're a flat earther or a globist, excuse me, right? If you made it around the sun or the sun made its trips around you, the fact that you're acknowledging it a year later is a feel
The
greater.
sun can't make a trip around you. That's not logically making sense.
I said if you're a flat, I said if you're a flat earther, then the
No,
sun.
we're reality, okay, sir.
Okay, I get it. You're not a flat earther. I get it, Nura. just say you're not a flat earther, but I'm not going to discount other people's beliefs because I don't, because I don't identify with them, right?
This ain't true.
I mean, true or false, it doesn't matter. They believe it. So if they believe it, then I'm going to say, well, look, they celebrating their birthday, but in their minds, the sun is going around them. They can still celebrate their birthday. That's my point.
Okay. Well, I'm
Another
taking my video off for a minute, okay?
Where you going?
I'm here. I'm just not gonna, I'm stopping my video.
Oh, yeah, go ahead and do that because we don't want to see all of that. We don't want to see
Yes, I'm saying. But you can still talk.
Oh, I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk. Go ahead and put it on mute.
Okay.
All right. So the other types of feel greater moments, let's see. Let's just go to the obvious. Like when people go like, yes, a sports victory, right? I remember the time when my son was probably about 10 or 11 in the football league, the little kiddie football league. And I believe this was probably like the final game of their season. And they went like they didn't lose a game the whole season, all wins. So this is the final game. And I'm there with my son, just, waiting to see how the game is going to play. He used to. This is like when he was like maybe 10 or 11.
Okay.
He was on the football team, and I would take him to the football trainings and then, of course, to the games. So this was like the last game of the season. And they had a perfect season. And like he caught like 3 or 4 touchdowns, wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He's running out there, and the quarterback just launched it. And I'm like, yo, first time I was like, yo, he throwing it to my son? What? I wasn't expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
And Nadia caught it. Boom, touchdown. I was like, I went crazy because that was probably like the first time I saw him catch a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So then they go through the rounds again. And like the next few minutes, he throws another bomb to my son. My son's running, catches it, ooh, touchdown. I'm like, I was like, yo, if there could ever be a feel greater moment for a father, that was it for me. That was like the ultimate feel greater moment for a father of a son. I mean, that's like every father's dream. Like when you're dreaming about having a son, you're like fantasizing, you're daydreaming about that moment when he is playing basketball and like hits that winning shot, 3-pointer, playing football and catches those touchdowns. Yo, he caught like 3 or 4 touchdowns. So I was just in feel greater father heaven that day. I was just all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my son. My daughter, she decided a few years ago to like do her thing with her hair. Like she wanted to be a hairstylist. And I was like, yo, go for it. Like that's a profession that's damn near recession proof. You know what I mean? Like everybody's gonna get their hair done, like no matter what. that's like the very thing you're gonna like, okay, I gotta get my hair done, right? I'm not walking around looking like this. So she went to her school, Paul Mitchell in Charlotte. And I remember the day that she completed the program and graduated. And again, it was just like that moment where it was just like, oh man, this is the moment you just, as a father, you just feel so amazingly accomplished because you had to do your job as a parent to get them to this point.
Mm-hmm.
And if you failed in that process, they wouldn't be here at this point. So, and again, I knew all the things that tried to take her off her path.
Yeah.
And it was really me celebrating the victory over those opportunities of defeat, trying to take her off the path.
Yeah.
I'm just like, whoa, as a proud father, just that accomplishment, that joy, it was just a feel greater moment. So those are 2 stories that resonate with me from my past. But as you could imagine, like a work promotion, a graduation, right? We just finished graduation season, like back in May.
Mm-hmm.
Like a graduation is a big feel greater moment for people and their loved ones.
Who graduated in May?
Huh?
Who graduated?
No, I'm saying in general.
Oh, okay.
Like graduation season just ended like in May and June.
Yeah.
So it's like the feel greater timeline, which is filled with like graduation photos from all over the world. And then there was there's the anniversaries, the weddings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, a new baby, that's a big one. because we all know how many things can go wrong trying to have that. A new
Yeah.
pet, a new house, a new car, the obvious one, a job promotion, you know, because when you get a job promotion, because you were performing very well in the other job, right? I always used to say the best way to give myself a job promotion was to go look for another job.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they weren't going to promote me at where I was, I would just go across the street, tell them what I'm doing over here. And if they feel like what I'm doing over here is very valuable, they would obviously give me a raise.
Yeah.
Okay, you making 60 over here. How about we give you 75? That tell me everything I need to know right there. And if I'm working for somebody and they say, Amari, we paying you 75 right now, but you're doing such a good job. We're gonna raise you to 80 and we're gonna give you a promotion. We're gonna add senior to the beginning of your job title. Whoa, right? Yes, like the boxer here. Yes. And I
Question.
personally felt that sensation, so I know what it feels like. It's an amazing sensation.
Yeah. It's 7:45. How much longer can we proceed in this meeting?
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm wrapping it up as we speak.
Okay.
So I don't like to be too long-winded. That's another thing about me. I could talk for real. Like I could talk your ears off if you give me the chance to.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to keep things in the interest of time. Time is a factor in this multiverse timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to say, like, as far as the different types of FeeLgr8r,
Mm-hmm.
I've covered majority of them, but there are probably a few more I didn't mention.
Yeah.
Can you think of any that I didn't mention off the top of your head? How about personal wellness?
Yeah.
That's a huge one. So let's wrap it up talking about the photo scavenger hunt. What we do on a photo scavenger hunt is quite simple. What I do is I give you a list of hashtags. Now, these hashtags could be something as simple as like birthday, hashtag birthday. And we'll go to the hashtag, and each person that's playing in the photo scavenger hunt game will use that hashtag on Instagram or any other social media site, but preferably Instagram. They will go find a photo that captures a FeeLgr8r moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you find a photo, now it doesn't have to be like an amazing FeeLgr8r pose. It could just be a person, you know, in a FeeLgr8r moment, standing in front of their new house or their new car. But if you capture a FeeLgr8r moment, then what you do is in the game you tag FeeLgr8r, and then we go ahead and get that posted to the findings section of our site. And then from the findings, we go ahead and we identify 3 winners. Those 3 winners get bragging rights, okay? And then, of course, we use those winners and as well as other channel content that get posted in the different channels that we have. We use that to inspire the digital art that makes its way into the FeeLgr8r Winners Cube. That rotating cube, when you click on cube at the site, FeeLgr8r.org, that rotating cube is made internally based on the inspiration of all of the winners, the channel content, the feed, all of that. And then we take that winners cube and we have a marketplace shop. FeeLgr8r has a marketplace shop where you can go buy that digital collector's item called the NFT. And we're not going to get into what an NFT is. Go and Google it. There's a whole bunch of YouTube videos that explain what an NFT is, right? But when you actually go to FeeLgr8r.org and you click on the link at the bottom of the cube that takes you to our collection, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out what's happening there. We're selling an NFT. We're selling a digital collectible. And each one, and this is the great part. You listening, Nora? Pay close attention to this because this is really important. Each NFT, we're taking a percentage of each NFT. I'm not going to get into the numbers right now. But we're taking a percentage of each NFT that we sell in the future. Not tomorrow, not in 2 days, but in the future. We're distributing the profits of that NFT to our FeeLgr8r supporters that sign on board right now. Right now, and get and support our merch. Now, one particular merch that needs to be supported to get the payout from the NFT would be the notebook souvenir, the cube notebook souvenir. So if you go to the site, you're gonna see the FeeLgr8r Winners Cube notebook souvenir. When you purchase that, along with your purchase, you're gonna receive via email a PDF attachment or a link, but it's going to take you to the profit sharing agreement. Read that and you'll see the percentage that we're distributing from our NFT equally to our FeeLgr8r supporters. But this is an offer that's not going to last long, and there's a limited amount of people that can benefit from this. I'm not going to get into the numbers right now, but let's just say the number's really small and the payout is really big. So it's not something that you want to miss. So make sure you tell your family and friends, your associates, make sure you tell them about FeeLgr8r, but also tell them about the FeeLgr8r Winners Cube on the site, and that they need to go ahead to the merch store by clicking the shop link in the nav bar at the top. Click shop, go to the store, and make sure you get the FeeLgr8r Winners Cube notebook souvenir. The small amount of money that you're going to pay for that does not even compare to the large amount of money that's going to get paid out when that NFT sells. So with that said, I'm having a great time. It's time to get out of here. I hope I explained what FeeLgr8r is. I gave you a few FeeLgr8r stories. The one thing I did not get into is, who am I? I didn't tell you my name. I just told you I was the Pat King. But if you go to my Instagram, all of them, you'll see that my name is Amari Kweli. Amari Kweli. That's the handle. That's the source of it all. But more importantly, that's the aspiration. That's my personal aspiration. That's the name that I aspire to become, the Amari Kweli. And the middle name is pronounced Yoda. Yes, like Yoda from Star Wars. Amari Nyota Kweli. True story. I had a FeeLgr8r moment, Nura, where I realized I was pronouncing my middle name wrong for a while. And the way it happened was I bumped into this African lady, and she had the same similar spelling as my name. It starts with the N, Y-O-T-A. That's how you spell my middle name. And she had like an N in the beginning of hers. So I asked her, how you pronounce this?
Oh, your middle name on a computer?
No, this is in real life.
Ain't your middle name Wakweli?
No, listen. We're going to get into that. But what I'm trying to tell you is my spiritual name is Amari Nyota Kweli. That's my spiritual.
Oh, okay.
If you go read my work, go to my site, you'll see Amari Nyota Kweli. So she told me that just like her name, the N is silent in Africa. They don't pronounce the N. So I was like, oh, so I've been saying in Yoda all this time. It's supposed to be just Yoda because the N is silent. But then there's other places in Africa where they may pronounce the N. But I like the fact that my name is Yoda, you know, because the N is silent, because I'm a fan of Yoda. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I've always been a fan of use the Force, Luke. So, you know, it is what it is. Now, to your point, right? When I go into other spaces, it's Wakwali, right? It's the middle name that our mother gave me, excuse me. Wakwali. Now, what does Kwali mean? Kwali means truth in Swahili.
Your middle name is Wakweli.
Right. Wakwali. It doesn't matter how you pronounce it. The point I'm trying to make is the Wa stands for family. And Kwali means truth. So what they did at that time is they were in the group called the Family of Truth. They called it the East. And so as it was explained to me, that name came with the Wa Kwali. They all took the name Wa Kwali. So my name was basically like I was born with the name Amari Wakwali. And so it was like when I was thinking about the name that I wanted to adopt as my goal, like my aspiration, I wanted to be Amari, which is a warrior. Amari means warrior. Yoda means superstar, or like a star that's traveling through the Milky Way. And Kwali means truth. So when you put those three together, you get my name, Amari Nyota Kweli. You get superstar warrior of truth. To me, that was a name that I could aspire to. That's who I wanted to become more of, Amari Nyota Kweli. And so when you picking a spiritual name for yourself, which is a phase that you have to go through, like all spiritual initiates at a certain point rename themselves because they want a name that not necessarily that they were given at birth. They want a name that they identify with as an adult that acts as an aspiration for them. And I keep doing that because of the A in my name, Amari Kweli. So I chose Amari Nyota Kweli as what would be my pseudonym for all of my works, my hip hop, the Pat King, Feel Greater. But then here's the funny part. When I write, I gotta copyright it, right? And that's since that's not a legal name, I gotta put copyright 2023 by Omari W. Dixon. So it's clear to people like, okay, this is his legal name because he's copywriting it. But at the same time, this is his pseudonym that he writes under because that's his aspiration to be an Amari Nyota Kweli. So I hope that makes sense to everybody. You know, that's what it is. And like when I'm in certain worlds where like I'm working on computers and handling
Sorry to cut you off. I'm just letting you know it's
Omari W.
7:55.
Dixon. What'd you say?
I'm just letting you know it's 7:55. Would you say you pay for how much for free service?
Oh, you know what? I think they give you some grace period, and thanks for letting everybody know that I'm using the free service. I appreciate that.
Oh,
You
excuse me.
know, thumbs up, no thumbs down for making me look cheap on my own recording.
No, I don't look cheap.
Yo, you blew me up with my own recording. It's all good because you know what? I'm about to comb my naps. It's all good. You see that hair falling out? Hey, Nura, I'm just blessed to have a full head of hair. I'm going on 49 and I got a full head of hair, okay?
Okay.
So I'm not complaining. I'm treasuring this as long as I can. I got a nice thick beard, you know what I mean? I'm blessed, you know? So last point and then we can go.
Okay.
This is the point that I've been thinking I needed to make in the beginning, but you weren't here. The last point is this: the FeeLgr8r 100. You know what that is, Nura? All right. The FeeLgr8r 100 are the first 100 people that become a member of the FeeLgr8r nonprofit. So FeeLgr8r is a nonprofit organization. And for those that actually join my organization and become a member, the first 100, I'm going to refer to them as the FeeLgr8r 100 or the FG 100. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So, you know, the FG, if I was to write it out, you'd probably see me write it like that. The FG 100. Now, being a member is a little bit different from, let's say, just buying something from the shop and having a FeeLgr8r shirt or a hat or a mug or something like that. You're part of the FeeLgr8r community, and that's a global community that I'm growing. We're growing. But being a FeeLgr8r member, you actually are listed as a member.
Okay.
So with that said, let me go ahead and close out and say, I want to invite those that really understand what FeeLgr8r is, what FeeLgr8r awareness is, right? Awareness and what the FeeLgr8r life is about. Appreciating what your victories and your accomplishment, but not just the things that went well, but also the things that didn't happen. Appreciating that on a daily basis for the grand as well as the small granular FeeLgr8r moments. When you're living a FeeLgr8r life and you understand what this is, and you say, you know what, I want to get down with what Amari's doing over there at FeeLgr8r.org. I want to get down with what Nura is into over there at FeeLgr8r.org. When you have that FeeLgr8r moment and you're ready to go, and you're ready to go with me out here into the real world and represent FeeLgr8r, you're going to receive an invitation to the actual events. You're going to receive an invitation to the videos, the video shoot. Like if you're not too far away, you're part of the team at that point. You're gonna actually like get paperwork from FeeLgr8r as a nonprofit entity that is acknowledging you as a member. And then, of course, you're going to have to be bound by the agreement of the member contract. And of course, that contract is very simple. I don't need your blood. I don't need your fluids. I don't even need you to take a shahada or oath or anything like that. Nothing that deep. The agreement is really just to support FeeLgr8r both financially through small regular donations, however way you can. And the other part of the agreement, we covered the financial part, is the support part. It's showing up for the FeeLgr8r calls on FeeLgr8r Friday, showing up at 7 o'clock for these 30 minutes and participating in what we're doing to select the winner, as well as participating in helping us sell what would be the NFT, the FeeLgr8r Winners Cube digital collector's item. So once you're helping us do that, here's what I'm offering you. In addition to all of the wonderful things that come with working with FeeLgr8r, you're also going to get a piece of the actual NFT, but you're not going to have to buy a t-shirt, a notebook souvenir to be part of that. You're going to be automatically enrolled, right? Automatically enrolled in the FeeLgr8r 100, in those 100 people that get a piece of every NFT. So listen, it's worth getting involved early in the process. Don't wait until it's too late and I already have my FG 100. Make sure you jump on board now while it's still early. Become part of the team. And listen, that's all I really want to say right now. I got to drink a sip of water and comb my hair. Hold on. Did any of that make sense, Nura?
Yeah.
All right, then we're done here. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy that we made this call successful. This recording is off the chain. I can't wait to go back and listen to it. It's just gonna be raw and unedited. So that little part where you blew me up for using the free Zoom, I'm not editing that out. I'm keeping that part for real, for real. Anything else you want to blow me up on? I mean, you called me out
I
about
didn't know I was blowing
identity.
you up.
Huh?
I thought that was a norm. So
Yo, you know I love you, sis. Come on, that's why we doing this. Oh, hold on. Somebody calling. Hold on for one second. All right, I'm gonna call them back. So with that said, listen, I always do this at the beginning of my projects. I say what? Peace and love. And at the end of my project, I always say what? Peace and love as well. Because it's all about peace and it's all about love. Peace and love, Nura. Ah. Mwah. Love you.
Love you too.
Remember to live the FeeLgr8r life.
Yes. Peace.
Mwah. Peace and love.
So